Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Salsabila Aulia Putri. I am from BSI Bekasi Cut Mutia, name 632411193. Today I want to give my opinion about smoking in the campus environment. Cigarettes are no longer something foreign to Indonesian people. In fact, their charm is well known in various circles. The smoking population continues to increase year after year. In 1995, only 27% of Indonesia's population was addicted to cigarettes. However, 15 years later, basic research conducted by the Ministry of Health 2010 showed that 80 million people, or 34% of the Indonesian population, were addicted to cigarettes. In fact, according to the latest data from the Global Youth Tobacco Survey 2014, 18.3% of Indonesian students who are the younger generation already have the habit of smoking. These figures are clearly at the stage of disturbing the public. However, there are still many people who tend to be apathetic about this smoking problem, not to mention the losses it causes. College is the place of highest education for the younger generation. According to the Prof. Edi, chairman of the Association of Indonesian Private Universities, universities should not just be passive institutions in dealing with the smoking problem. This is because smoking behavior is now increasingly something that can be easily found in various places, even in campus environment, which are places for teaching and learning. It is very easy to find people smoke on campus, starting from the lecturer, staff, and especially students. The students who make up the largest number of campus members are of course also the largest contribution of active smoking on campus when compared to other campus members. It's really unfortunate. The students who were supposed to act as warm iron stock, the shoes of this nation, have apparently been withered by cigarettes. Agent of change who is immune to smoking and guardian of value who has lost earthly values to maintain, especially medical students who in fact carry out their mandate as agents of health, again who are expected to maintain and improve the quality of health in society. For this reason, policies need to be implemented in each university to overcome the smoking problem. The policy in question is a smoking-free campus. A smoking-free campus is a prohibition on smoking or producing, selling, advertising, or promoting tobacco products on campus. However, currently, smoking-free campuses have not been implemented in all universities in Indonesia. One of the reasons this policy has not been implemented in the cigarettes companies make a big contribution to the world of education, especially at the tertiary level, namely by providing scholarship for students who cannot afford economically. If looked at in depth, the reason is not a strong just reason to justify not implement a smoke-free campus, because this scholarship can be obtained from other companies. Apart from that, there are lots of scholarships outside of contribution from cigarettes companies, both scholarships from the Indonesian government and the private sector that can be used. Another reason is that there is concern that there will be protests from the campus community against the non-smoking campus, which will disrupt activities on the campus itself. This also cannot be used as an underlying reason because smoking will further disrupt campus activities, and if the policy is implemented firmly, then those who oppose the no-smoking campus will eventually accept the policy. Of course, not immediately accepted, but with a process and persuasive approach. And actually, if we examine it more deeply, the smoke-free campus policy has many positive impacts, which of course a fact is university itself. So today we learn about questions words. What is the meaning of questions words? Questions words are questions that require answer in the form of information. Does it sound familiar? That's right. We usually call the questions word 5W plus 1H in Indonesian. They help us obtain the information we need in conversation or writing. What are questions words? So we can divide these questions words into the following categories: who, what, when, where, why, and how. But in English, there are additional words. Can you imagine how comprehensively we will discuss the material this time? Come on, let's check it out. The first pattern is who, whose position is to ask the subject, so the pattern is questions word plus verb plus object, and don't forget the questions mark. For the example, it is actually flexible based on the conditions required. The first is a present tense, past tense, and simple future tense. To use person, here there is who as a questions word, cook as a verb, and noodle as an object. For fitting, we will use who, cooked noodle, who as a questions word, cook as a verb too, and noodle as an object, and questions mark. Next, there is who will cook noodles. This is a simple future tense, so who as questions word, will cook as a verb, and noodle as an object. Okay, for what, here there are simple future tense, past tense, and simple future tense. The first is what is a fish, what as a questions word, it as a verb, and fish as an object. Next, for the past tense, what as a questions word, it as a verb to fish an object. Next, future tense, what as a questions word, will eat as a verb, and a fish as an object. Okay, the second pattern here is who, where, when, why, and what. Why is there what? Because what can also ask what position the object is in, but the pattern is different from pattern 1, so there is a slight difference for the pattern itself. Here is the questions: word plus auxiliary plus subject plus verb plus object. Why object in the brackets? Because it can be given an object or it can be without an object. The first example here is whom. Here I give 3 examples based on tenses because they are flexible. There are present tense, past tense, and simple future tense. Whom as a questions word, do as auxiliary, you as a subject, and call as a verb. Who did you call is almost the same. Whom as a questions word, did as auxiliary, you as a subject, and call as a verb. For the third one, whom will you call? Whom as a questions word, will as auxiliary, you as a subject, and call as a verb. For where, when, and why, just follow the pattern like whom. Where do you eat fried rice? Where as a questions word, do as auxiliary, you as a subject, eat as a verb, and fried rice as an object. When do you eat fried rice? When as a question word, do as auxiliary, you as a subject, eat as a verb, and fried rice as an object. Why do you eat fried rice? Why as a question word, do as auxiliary, you as subject, it as a verb, and fried rice as an object. For what itself, because it asks for object, the pattern is actually the same. So, for example, if we use whom, it's almost the same. We just replace it with what. What do you call? For the third pattern, here are whose, which, and how. For these three, they are actually almost the same as the second pattern, but only have the fixed noun accountable. For example, whose book do you take? Whose as a question word, book as a noun, do as auxiliary, you as a subject, take as a verb. Next, if which is almost the same, which as a question word, book as a noun, do as auxiliary, you as a subject, take as a verb. As for how it actually functions, you can introduce conditions, manner, and also quantities. So here I take an example to explain the amount. Coincidentally, the number can be defined into. You can use how many or how much. How many is usually said for nouns that are non-countable, noun that can be counted. For example, tables, lamp. If how much, to ask about something that is not yet defined and cannot be counted. For example, water and oil. So, here is an example of using how. How many books do you take? This noun is when there is how many. Always add es or es to the noun because we don't know yet. Next, how many as a question word, book as a noun, do as auxiliary, you as a subject, take as a verb. Next, here I will use the example of water because water is a stable substance that cannot be calculated. For example, how much water do you drink? How much as a question word, water as a noun, do as auxiliary, you as a subject, drink as a verb. That was about question words which I divide into three patterns. Essentially, these are the most important patterns of grammar that are always used in daily conversation. So, you have to know how to make and use the pattern. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope the video is useful. See ya and bye bye.